What sort of conditions can you expect when you arrive at Ginnie Springs on Friday? That's what I decided to find out by diving Ginnie Springs today. This is Devil's Eye Spring. It's just 20 meters from Devil's Ear, which is where we were hoping to catch the firewater effect. Normally, the water in the spring basin is clear, turning sharply into dark, tannic water where the spring meets the river. However, we've had a lot of rain recently, and water levels in the river are up nearly 1 full meter. When this happens, dark, tannic water from the river can flood the spring basin, reducing visibility to 30 centimeters or less. To prevent this from happening, the owner of Ginnie Springs installs this barrier. The barrier is made from a fine mesh. The openings are just big enough to allow the spring water to flow into the river, but prevent the dark river water from entering the spring. The problem is, Devil's Ear Spring, where we normally see the firewater effect, is on the other side of the barrier. Normally, when this happens, there is nothing on the far side of the barrier but black water. Crossing the barrier is like trying to dive in a cup of coffee. Still, I didn't want to abandon hope, so I decided to cross over the barrier and see what was on the other side. The first good sign was that the water on the river side of the barrier did not immediately turn black. This means that water levels in the river are dropping, and the flow of clear water from the spring is increasing. As I approached the edge of the spring, though, things did not look good. Despite the lack of visibility, I decided to drop a short distance down into the spring so that I could show you just how bad things were. And that's when everything changed. As soon as my bubbles hit the surface, a clear spot opened up above, and the longer I stayed, the better things got. Soon I was seeing exactly what Ben shot when he got his firewater footage earlier this year. Water levels in the river are continuing to drop, so it looks like we'll be able to get exactly the footage we were after. Now, it would be a shame to travel this far and not take advantage of the opportunities to shoot some of the other amazing things that Ginnie Springs has to offer. Ginnie Spring itself consists of a large shallow basin, connected to the adjacent Santa Fe River by a 50-meter channel. Usually, this channel is clear all the way to the river. With water levels up, however, this changed. The dark water now reaches a third of the way to the spring. More importantly, the change between the dark water and the clear water is not gradual. It is very sharp and very pronounced. I decided to check it out underwater because I was sure it would be something we would want to film. This is what you see as you approach the river. The change from clear to dark water is very abrupt and very dramatic. Additionally, the warm river water tends to float above the clear spring water. This means you can get footage of divers swimming in the clear water with the dark water overhead. There aren't many other places in the world where you can capture something like this on video. The thing is, however, this meeting of clear spring water and dark river water isn't even the most impressive thing there is to shoot at Ginnie Spring. The main attraction at Ginnie is the large cavern in the spring basin. It differs from other caverns in several respects. To start, it's very clear. The bottom is a mixture of sand and rock, so it never gets stirred up. The walls are very white and reflect light well, making it easy to light up the cavern. No matter where you are in the cavern, you are seldom more than 25 meters from the surface. Because of these factors, Ginnie Cavern is open to any certified diver. You do not need special cave training or equipment. There are a number of interesting things to video inside the cavern. Here are just a couple. Above this rocky shelf, everything looks upside down. The water, being so clear, looks like air. The air, which collects on the ceiling, looks like water, and as you can see, you can even play with it. Closer to the entrance, air from divers' exhaust runs along the ceiling. When it reaches a certain point, all this air disappears up a crack. If you exit the cavern, you can see where this air appears from the ground as a curtain of bubbles. Depending on how many divers are in the cavern, air can come up through the rock in several places. So, as you can see, we should have no shortage of interesting things to shoot on Friday. If you have any questions, just let me know.